Greetings, REALTOR University students. In this short video, we're going to walk through some library resources in the context of finding scholarly and peer-reviewed sources. In many of your REALTOR University courses, for papers, discussion posts, and other assignments, you will be asked to locate and include peer-reviewed sources or scholarly sources in your papers. So, through this video, we will define what scholarly and peer-reviewed mean and how to find them. So we'll start with the question, how do you know if you can trust a website, magazine, article, news story, email, blog post, or book? There are a number of things to take a look at and consider. The first is the author's credentials. You should ask yourself, do the author's credentials make him or her an expert on the topic? For example, let's say someone with a PhD in economics is talking about psychology. Even though he or she has a high-level degree, it's not in the field of the topic he or she is citing. So you really need to consider why someone is an expert on a topic and if they really are an expert. Another thing to take a look at are the institutions affiliated with the author. Sometimes universities or other venerable research institutions will support and affiliate with an author, and that gives you some indication that the work is reputable. So, consider that. Another thing is to look at where the research is published. Anyone in the world can publish a website, blog post, even a news story. The source of where the item is published is key. Next, read through the work and see if there are citations and references. If the article talks about a study, does it give you further details about the study and where it was published and why it's credible? Are there facts and figures and quotes that are cited based off of research? And then last, conclusions should be based on evidence, empirical evidence, not opinion. So the author should present conclusions based off the evidence he or she cited and found. Next, we'll consider what peer-reviewed means. Peer-reviewed simply means there is a process that the research and the scholar took to get their work published. The process goes as such. First, the scholar conducts research. Second, the scholar submits research to a journal for publication. This journal is peer-reviewed. And so the staff who work for this journal, or the scholar's peers, review and vet the research. These staff are experts in this field. So if it's a journal of psychology that the work is to be published in, the staff of the journal will have PhDs in psychology. If the scholar conducted good, viable research, it's published in the journal, and it is thus peer-reviewed. If the research is not good, it's not published in the journal. So you know that when you're reviewing and reading articles in a journal that is peer-reviewed, the research is credible and experts gave it the thumbs up. If the research is decent, but perhaps there are some errors in the methodology, the research is sent back to the scholar or the author of the article to amend and resubmit for review. So you know when you are looking at articles in a journal that is peer-reviewed, there is a process that it took to get that article and that research published, and that makes it more credible than just any old website or blog post that you find on the web. So you might next ask yourself, okay, now I know what scholarly and peer-reviewed are, but why? Why do I have to use them? And why do I have to cite things in this APA format? So I will give you the responses that some of the faculty in the REALTOR University program offer for this question. The first is, yes, it is more onerous to find scholarly and peer-reviewed sources and then to cite them in this APA citation format. Yes, it's more work, but you're going to be a master of real estate. And when you have a master's degree and you walk around with that title attached to your name, you are telling the world that you are an expert in research and that you know how to find scholarly, credible research to support your ideas. You're not one to just throw out opinion, but instead you cite evidence-based research, and that means you are a master of real estate. And a master's degree tells the world that you think at a more advanced level, that you look at information with a critical and discerning eye. So now that we know what peer-reviewed and scholarly resources are, how do you find them? There are a number of places that you can find them. We have a database in the library that we subscribe to called Proquest, and I will show you how to access that database. Google Scholar is a database that Google has put together. It has its own separate website from the regular Google website that also has scholarly and some peer-reviewed articles. Textbooks also count as scholarly resources, and ebooks too, and I will show you how to access ebooks in the Realtor University Library. You can also look to industry sources like case studies. Some of the NAR affiliates, and even including NAR, have research that they publish that's credible and scholarly. CCIM, IREM, and ULI are a couple of sources that publish great research on the real estate industry. You can also take a look to nonprofits who publish white papers. And, of course, the U.S. government and other international governments publish studies from time to time, and those can be useful as well. An example might be some of the Census Bureau's reports. And, of course, the Realtor U Library is your gateway to these resources. So let's go ahead and jump to the Realtor University Library website. Just to reiterate, the website address for the Realtor U Library is www.realtorulibrary.org. If you have a chance, please bookmark that site, as you'll refer to it frequently throughout your tenure in the program. We'll start with the Articles tab. If you click on Articles, this will take you directly to a place where you can access the Proquest database. I will go ahead and start by clicking Simple Search. Here you will be asked to enter a password. If you need this password, contact the Realtor U Library or even the NAR's Information Central Department. We can provide the password. Once you are logged into Proquest, you will be taken to a page that looks just like this. Below you can see the different databases that you can search. So now would be a good time for me to explain what Proquest is. Essentially, Proquest is a database that contains scholarly and peer-reviewed journal articles. So when your professor asks for you to include peer-reviewed sources in your papers and assignments, you know that you can come here and find them. A lot of the articles and reports and such that are in the Proquest database are not available for free on the open web. So you cannot find these resources doing a Google search. So that's why it's important to come here when you need to find resources for your papers and assignments. You can't find this for free anywhere else. This is a subscription database that the Realtor Association subscribes to. So let's go ahead and walk through some of the basic features. You can use this search box just as you would a Google or internet search box, where you can type words that are related to your research, and you can use the search icon. You can also select this checkbox right here for peer reviewed. So right there, when you check that checkbox and full text and you run your search, any results that you get back are peer reviewed and thus can be used in your papers and assignments. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to click to the Advanced Search tab to show some more features. Let's say we are writing a paper on net zero prefab homes, something I'm working on right now. I'm going to go ahead and put my first term, and I'm okay with making it anywhere in the document. You can always opt to have it tied to just the text or the subject or wherever. I want net zero and I want the word prefab. I'm going to use an asterisk just in case it's referred to as prefabrication or prefab. I want results that contain both. The asterisk will allow me to do that. I'm going to make sure the peer-reviewed checkbox is checked so that I only get peer-reviewed sources. There are other ways by which to limit results. For example, if you want things just published within the last few years, you can opt to do that. I'm going to leave this as is and just take a look and see what type of results I get by clicking Search. So here I only get 3 results, but they're all very good results. They include the search terms that I need, and they're all peer-reviewed. If I want to take a look at a result, I click on the title. You can hit Control-T or Command and click to open an article in a new window so that your search results page is still accessible. And here I've got the first article. I've got the abstract and the full text. If I want to take a look and see where my search terms appear in the document, I can click on Turn on Search Term Navigation and jump to first hit. And there's my prefabricated word. I can use these arrows to continue throughout the document. It looks like this is the last result as there's no arrow to the right. Let's say I like this item and I want to cite it in my paper. There are a few things that I can do. First, I would suggest exporting or saving it in PDF and saving it to your computer or Dropbox or Google Docs or some other place where you store your papers and assignments. The next thing you can do is cite it in APA format. In the next few videos in this student orientation session, I will discuss this concept of APA formatting further. But for now, just notice this cite feature. When you click on that, it will open a dialog box which will create and generate an APA 6th edition citation for you that you can just copy and paste into your reference lists in your paper. We'll go back to the main Proquest search page. Another way to search and locate articles in Proquest is to search by publication. So for example, if I click on Publications at the top of the website, this will take me to a search page where I can locate and search within a particular journal. So for example, let's say I'm writing on appraisal. I know the appraisal journal is in this collection, so I search on appraisal in the title and I click search. And here I have a link to the appraisal journal. I can see that it's full text from 1988 to present. And click on the title. And now I can search just within this publication, or I can browse specific issues. So for example, let's say I want to just take a look at recent appraisal articles. I'll click on the most recent version of the appraisal journal, which is from spring of 2014. Here I can see the list of articles. Perhaps I want to share a recent article in one of my discussion posts for the appraisal course to show that I've done outside research. I can click on one of these titles and read the full text of the article. I can include a quote, and then I can use the Cite button to generate a citation that I can cite in my discussion post. Going back to the Realtor University Library website, we also include a link to this Google Scholar database that I mentioned earlier. I'll go ahead and click on that. The website for Google Scholar is slightly different than your regular Google. It's scholar.google.com. If you're in the law class, you'll note there's a button that will allow you to search case law. So for example, if you're researching a topic within a particular state or a federal topic, you can check a button and run a search and find court cases that relate to your topic. Otherwise, if you're just looking for scholarly articles, you can click on the Articles button and then you can run a search. I'm going to search for net zero and just see what comes up. So here I have a list of scholarly articles. If Google has access to a free full-text version, you'll see a link to a PDF over here in this right-hand column. Otherwise, if Google does not have access to this article for free, you can click on the title and it will take you to the journal's website and you'll see that you can purchase an article. Before you purchase an article, contact the Realtor U library. There's a chance that we may have it already in our print collection and we can scan it and send it to you, or that we could probably purchase it and include a copy in our library collection that we can share with you. Another resource that you can use for scholarly research is our ebooks. If you go to the Realtor U library website and you click on ebooks, it will take you to a page where you can search our ebook collection. I'm going to click on Simple Search, and this will take you to the ebooks website, which is ebooks.realtor.org. First thing I'm going to do is click on Sign In. If you're a student in the program, you will click Realtor University in the drop-down menu, which will prompt you to enter your NERD's member number. You'll want to sign into the ebooks collection because there are additional ebooks accessible to Realtor University students, such as dictionaries. I'm going to search for a law dictionary. And here I have the Essential Law Dictionary. If you're working on a finance or even a law paper, sometimes it's really great to start out with a definition of a term. I wrote my legal research paper on eminent domain, and so I started out my paper with a definition of eminent domain. If you're interested in a book, you can click on Borrow, and it will take you to the page. You'll see an option to download. In this case, I can download as a Kindle or an Adobe PDF ebook. Of course, in order to read an Adobe PDF ebook, I would first need to download the free software. Even though it says PDF, Adobe ebooks are actually slightly different. They have additional features that Adobe Acrobat does not include. So you would first need to download the software by scrolling down to the bottom of the page of the ebooks website, clicking on Applications, and you'll see the two different types of software that are free that you need in order to be able to read ebooks on your computer. For print books, you would use Adobe Digital Editions. For audiobooks or ebooks on your smartphones and tablets, you would download Overdrive Media Console. Then, you can quickly download books and read them from the comfort of your home or office. They automatically return after 21 days with an option to renew for an additional period of time. Going back to the Realtor University Library website, there's one more resource I want to show for help with starting papers and assignments, and that is our research guides, accessible in the top navigation bar. Our research guides pull together all sorts of resources that you will need to get started on your papers and assignments by topic. These are course specific and include tabs for different papers and assignments, so if you're ever at a loss as to where to get started, check out these research guides. For example, if I go to the Commercial and Investment Properties Guide, I have a tab for each section that will be required in an investment property analysis report. In both the Real Estate Finance course and some of the CREA courses, one is required to create an investment analysis report for a property. So for example, if the first thing you need to do is locate a property, we include links to several different companies that publish commercial property listings. You can find a property there along with key metrics for that property. And then once you've found that and you want to write a report about that property, you can start with resources for conducting a location analysis, assessing environmental issues, finding articles that talk about commercial real estate and environmental issues. We have resources for conducting a cash flow and financial analysis, including real estate math tutorials, which walk you through how to arrive at net operating income and much more. We provide resources on how to conduct a lease review, competition and market survey, and much more. So that was our Commercial and Investment Properties Guide. But keep in mind, we have guides covering things like sustainable design for that RE 590 course, real estate law, how to work on the capstone project, real estate marketing, brokerage management, and much more. Going back to the Realtor University Library homepage, you'll note that this website is your gateway to scholarly and peer-reviewed sources. That concludes the first part of the Realtor University Library orientation. Contact us for any questions.